Yeah.
It's nothing. Justin, what? Evil Dead. Yeah.
All right. So, anyway,
More segue.
man, where do I begin with this? So, it's kind of interesting to see about this show because it's been when was the last time? When was Army of Darkness? When did that come out?
Oh shit! What?
1997 or some
Yeah.
shit.
No, I feel like is it 93, 94?
Army of Darkness.
It should be like 96, 97, right?
Something like that, early 90s. Yeah, but it's interesting to think that it's been that long since we've had an Evil Dead property that wasn't the remake.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but man, I don't know about you guys, but I think they kind of nailed most of it. Yeah, like
1992.
oh, 92. Wow. One of the big things about the show is that, for me at least, it starts off super strong, like total like Evil Dead 2 kind of comedy horror kind of thing. But it feels like in the middle of the show, they seem to forget that they're trying to make a horror movie.
Yeah.
Like, especially the bit when they go meet the racist redneck shooting club or whatever, and you're like, okay, I'm not sure what the point of that episode was.
Justin, because you was up there telling me he was talking about it. You was saying that season finale was like very, very weird how they did it. And Diz, I want to get your take on it since you said you watched the full season.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna ask first, though, like, if you had to pick your favorite moments from the show, what were your guys' favorite moments that you saw?
The credits.
Actually, no, he's not wrong. The credits are awesome.
Oh yeah, no, they always pick really good like 70s, 80s rock for that stuff. It's always really cool.
As far as the character in the show is concerned, I feel like that was probably appropriate to his behavior. The downside is that he's supposed to be the freaking hero. It's like I'm sorry, I liked it, but I didn't like it. It's just I kind of feel like that they're just setting us up for next season.
No, that's exactly what we said too, because it's like it seems too dickish for him to make such a hugely selfish decision like that. Like even for his character.
Well, it was kind of selfish, but not really, because he did it to save the other two. And so
but at the same time, he doomed the entire world.
Oh, that's right.
But he didn't doom his bitches.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying, though, is that it seemed like it was too much. Like, even with the stakes that they had there, for Ash to just suddenly go, yeah, sure, fine, truce, whatever. It's just like, what? I don't know. It was odd. It was really strange. I don't know. What do you think, Kimberly?
I feel like that was a lot of lead up to nothing. You know what I mean? Because
it's really anticlimactic.
You know, they're up to that point. It was basically him against the demons. We got to destroy this book somehow, and then you get to the end. It's like the person that he kind of sort of was feeling for 5 seconds. Even though that whole romance thing came out of nowhere.
Right?
Okay, that was the worst thing about the season, was the really dumb romance between Ash and what's her name?
Rachel. I don't know, the cop. The cop.
Yeah.
I want to say, yeah, I need to look up that name, but that was weird. It's like I wasn't opposed to the romance, but it happened out of nowhere, so it didn't feel like it was earned at all. It's like, I love Pablo. I think he's like one of the best like new characters introduced.
I wait for his arc to fill out because he had that thing with his uncle.
Yeah, never seemed to really resolve.
Yeah, so I want to see how
because that's the thing. It's like they try to do the whole thing where they're making Kelly the more dominant action heroine, but do you guys really buy that or not? I'm not really sold on her being a tough girl yet.
I think that they're banking on the fact that she's such a bitch, and they're like, "Oh, she's tough because she's a bitch." It's like that doesn't really translate to toughness.
I know.
Nice try.
She got this very nasally way of saying all her lines so sarcastically. It doesn't really match what they're trying to make her character do, I feel.
Good cinematography in certain scenes when they.
Oh yeah.
Oh, but what'd you say, Edward?
That's probably my favorite scene of the show so far. Like, after that, I knew, like, oh, yeah, they're really going back to the movies of the 80s and the early 90s, like,
yeah,
straight out of those early movies.
And that's the kind of shit that I'm really into. Like, I mean, you guys say a lot of stuff about, like, oh, I feel like it's gonna, build too much towards the second season, and that there wasn't a good ending. But it's like, that's how all those 80s and 90s movies ended, where there's always some stupid-ass way to keep that shit going. For the show so far, though, Eddie, like, as far as everything that you saw, not, like, as a whole, but, like, just in general, like, do you like the show, or is it
I
something
think
that...
really, it's a really, really fun show. It's not episodes aren't too long, but there's so much that happens in each and every one. It's, like, entertaining from beginning to the end. Pretty good pacing.
I didn't know that Justin would even be into a horror show so much. Like, we gotta have a conversation about this shit every week.
Oh, dude, like, I love, like, a good show. I don't mind what genre it is as long as it keeps me coming back. And Ash vs. Evil Dead, it has problems, but I always come back for it.
I pressed the wrong thing.
Justin, I don't mean to interrupt, man, but
Yeah.
I gotta thank your Mormon brethren.
Oh, what's up?
They left me rolling paper.
Oh,
Really?
boy.
oh.
Really?
There's a special place in Mormon hell for you.
Spooky Mormon hell.
Hey, it burns smoother than the Catholic Bible.